a clean victory tonight.
We keep the action rolling in Richmond. Next up in the middleweight division, it is Walter Diggs Jr. versus Dillan Whitver. Whitver making the amateur debut. Walter Diggs Jr. aiming to find his first victory. 7-year age differential, and Whitver will be 2 inches taller. Both came in at the weight limit. This tale of the tape brought to you by Combat Corner.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for our next bout of the evening. 3 rounds going down in the APFC featherweight division. And now, making the walk to the cage first, from Richmond, Virginia, Dillan Whitver.
24 years young, making his amateur debut, cornered tonight by John Ward, Jesse Merez, and David Deese out of that Mongrel MMA Academy. Campbell, what do you make of Dillan Whitver?
Funny too, because I've trained with Whitver. I'm looking for him to probably take it to the ground here in this fight. He's been grappling for a long time, got good takedowns, good submission skills. I'm looking for him to take this one to the ground pretty early.
Interesting time chatting with Dillan Whitver yesterday. David Evans, what was your assessment of him?
The kid was incredibly confident. He didn't seem to think that there was anything his opponent could do that could put him into danger. As you see him walking out here, I mean, he has a swagger. He's dancing, rapping to the music. I mean, as confident as can be. Only time will tell.
I think I need to see a birth certificate. 24 with all that ink, Campbell, I'm not sure. I mean, hell, this guy's got more going on than a Van Gogh painting. It is the amateur MMA debut of Dillan Whitver.
And now, making the walk to the APFC cage, he's fighting out of Deltaville, Virginia, Walter, the Slugger Diggs Jr.
The 71st ranked amateur lightweight in Virginia. We have seen him once before. That was against Blake Correa at APFC 6. It was his amateur debut. David Evans, it didn't go his way that night, but he promises that he is in renewed form here in Richmond.
Yeah, and he's coming out here looking focused, man. I mean, this guy, it seems like he has ice in his veins right now. You know, 0-1, not a great start. No one wants to start off on that note, but I mean, that's the thing about fighting, as I said earlier, on any given night you can change your trajectory. And tonight, this guy feels as if he has all of the tools to do just that.
Now, Campbell, obviously training with Whitver, getting that experience. What would you maybe suggest to one Walter Diggs Jr.?
Put the pressure on early. Throw big, heavy shots. Start to make him question himself. You know, it is his first time in the cage here, so he needs to put that pressure on. Let him know it's a real fight. Not different. It's completely different from sparring.
And when you think about the 7-year age differential, old man strength, maybe, Campbell?
Yes, sir. He might have that strength of his prime right there. So, you know, maybe if it does go to the ground, Walter Diggs will have something for Whitver that we're not expecting. But I know Diggs has started training at a new gym, so we could see a whole new Diggs.
New, improved, renewed. The Slugger, Walter Diggs Jr. in his 2nd APFC appearance.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is 3 rounds in the APFC featherweight division, sponsored by Great American Ranch Restaurant. And now, introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, a grappler. He stands 5 feet 8 inches tall and officially weighed in 146 pounds. Coming in tonight, making his debut and fighting out of Richmond, Virginia, Dillan Whitver. And across the cage, his opponent fighting out of the red corner, a mixed martial artist. He stands 5 feet 6 inches tall and officially weighed in at 145 pounds. Coming in tonight with no wins and 1 loss, and fighting out of Deltaville, Virginia, Walter, the Slugger Diggs Jr. And your referee in charge is Sean Spath.
Sean Spath, 3rd man inside for this featherweight affair between Walter Diggs Jr. and Dillan Whitver. Whitver in the black trunks, Diggs Jr. in the black with the red emblems. This fight brought to you by Great American Ranch Restaurant. If you need a dipping sauce there, I'm gonna assume you better get the ranch, David.
Diggs coming in right away, taking the center and just launching punch after punch.
Oh! Dillan Whitver nearly flooring Diggs Jr. Now on a guillotine, Campbell.
Diggs just looked out pretty quick. Whitver, good get up there.
The question's gonna be how recovered is Walter Diggs Jr. as Whitver tries to line him up for another right hand.
He's walking right into range here, too.
Diggs walking in, not taking his head off the center line, which allowed Whitver to come over with that huge overhand right.
Diggs avoiding 2 guillotines so far in round 1, now throwing ground and pound at the younger fighter. We thought this was gonna be frenetic, Campbell. It's energetic.
It definitely is. They're scrambling right now, hitting every position in the cage.
Beautiful connection with the right hand from Diggs Jr. moments ago.
Diggs in the top position, however, he's not really able to constrain Whitver as Whitver's throwing up kicks and strikes of his own from the bottom position.
Oh! The slugger bringing Whitver down momentarily.
Can't get up like that just without protecting yourself or technical get up or grabbing onto something.
I don't think either one of these guys are worried about protecting themselves, unfortunately.
No defense, just offense, all gas, no brakes, Campbell.
Yes, sir. I'm surprised if this makes it the whole fight. I'm thinking something happens here in the first round that's going to get one of these guys out.
I think it's fair to say we've had a whole fight worth of action here in this first round already.
Yes, sir.
75 seconds to go in round 1. Walter Diggs Jr. and Dillan Whitver finally with a brief pause. But look at this, Whitver going for the uppercut, whiffing. Diggs Jr. walking him down.
Diggs Jr., he's switching stances. However, he's leaving his chin up in the air, leaving his head on the center line. I mean, so as whenever he does something and he has success, however, he's attacking the guillotine here.
Whitver trying his best to get out of this, but that looks tight, and he submits Walter Diggs Jr. with a successful return to spoil the debut of Richmond's own Dillan Whitver.
Wow.
Who would have thought that? I mean, that's not the finish that I would have saw coming.
At all.
When you're the slugger and you're getting the first round sub, Campbell, you're turning the tables.
Yes, sir. It must be that new gym with his new coaches, new jiu-jitsu program. Looks like it's paying off for him.
Especially after defending guillotines himself in those first couple minutes. David Evans, walk me through the finishing sequence.
Man, I mean, he just jumped right in on that guillotine as Whitver came in for the takedown and was relentless with it. Never let it go. I mean, that was actually a pretty good guillotine. He didn't try to force it, and we didn't see him trying to arc the back. Actually, to finish that submission, you want to get closer and get tighter to your opponent, and he just kind of was patient there. I think that was the most patient I think I've seen him in the fight.
And if I can offer the difference between Whitver's attempts and Walter Diggs was having that full guard, right? That locked him down, Campbell.
100%. And Diggs also had the arm-in guillotine, too, so it was a little harder for Whitver to slip his head out. Whitver was going for those naked chokes, I do believe.
What an unreal victory for Walter Diggs Jr. in his return. The slugger, the underdog in this one, but finally getting the hand raised in Richmond.
She said no.
All right, let's make Walter Diggs Jr. first MMA victory official by sending it inside to handsome Michael Hansen.
Referee Sean Spath put an end to the fight. The official time, 2 minutes and 13 seconds of round number 1. Declaring your winner by submission via guillotine choke, Walter the Slugger Diggs Jr.
The slugger with a submission to pole vault himself into the win column. Campbell, what an impressive win that was.
Genuinely, they covered every single facet of MMA. They went to the ground, they got up, they were throwing big punches, both dropped each other. What an exciting first round, man.
I mean, when we think about fights of the year, David Evans, while it didn't extend for far too long, that was deeply entertaining for as long as it lasted.
Yeah, one of the more action-packed fights I think I've seen in a minute. I mean, both of these guys came out here with reckless abandonment. I mean, all offense, very little defense. And I mean, if that could have been the end of the fight, I mean, if we had the wrong ref, I mean, to be honest with you. However, Diggs Jr. was able to switch things up, man. He went for that guillotine, executed the technique perfectly, and he walks out and he gets the one on the right side tonight and gets the victory.
It almost looked like Whitver had turned him off with that right hand, but he flipped the switch, and we flip to the next fight of the night in the bantamweight